Hello everyone, I am Santosh Yadav from Keyboard Solutions Private Limited, Mumbai. Welcome into this webinar of outlining of DPR, that is detailed project report of solar PV plant. So I hope you all are safe and staying in home and taking necessary precautions to stay safe from this coronavirus infection. And we will be starting with the outlining of DPR, that is detailed project report. And I would like to tell you that in this session, we will be learning how to make your DPR, means how to outline your DPR, what should be the content of DPR, and what should be added in the DPR, and how to make your DPR impressive. So here we are going to start with this session, and the name of this session is outlining of DPR, that is detailed project report for solar PV plant. So what is DPR? The full form of DPR is detailed project report. Detailed project report, it should include all the things that is going from the starting to the end of the solar project execution, means the from the day one to the last day of the commissioning, like the site feasibility, making of site feasibility report, site survey, site assessment, solar designing, the steps taken into solar designing, how you are designing your system and what parameters you are taking to design your solar system. Then the solar generation capacity, the generation of solar PV system over the year, over the 25-year, and this using simulation software that you are going to calculate. And the technology selection means the solar modules is selected based on the factors considered to select that solar modules and the inverters. Plant performance, here in this plant performance you have to mention the performance ratio and capacity utilization factor. We will see in deep in sample DPR project report, the DPR report. Incentives and financials and budgeting and estimation. So we are recording this session. We will post this video on our Facebook page. From there, you can also watch this video. Hello everyone, can you see this? Can you see this PPT?
No.
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello everyone, can you hear me? Can you see this PPT being shared on the screen?
Please mute everyone.
So what are the requirements of DPR? That is what should be added in your detailed project report file. So the first thing is index, then the introduction. Introduction means you can put your company profile and the offerings that you're going to offer in your project and the benefits that customer will be getting after the installation of that project. So the value proposition, that is it will include company profile, company personal, company experience, and the values to be offered. Then the site evaluation. In site evaluation, you will be adding site parameters. Site parameters, that is for site parameters, you have to go for the site assessment and the site survey. There you will see the climatic details and the land details. Like climatic details, you will see the temperature, minimum temperature, maximum temperature, humidity. If it is a ground mounted system, then you have to check, you have to go for the soil testing, the soil moisture and everything you have to check for the, and for earthing you have to check the soil moisture and the quality of the soil. Then the land detail. In land detail, you can calculate the total area requirement. After the total area requirement, you have to do the shadow analysis to get the total area to be utilized. Then the solar resource. We will see this. We will see the overview of your detailed project report. Then we have installed one 50 kilowatt solar power plant in Ambajogai, Maharashtra. So we have DPR for that project. I will open the DPR and we will go through the DPR and we will see the DPR one by one. All the points we will learn, we will see over there. What is the meaning of each and every topic and the point in the DPR, and what is the importance of that point. So we will be going through one real DPR of 50 kilowatt power plant. Solar resource is nothing but the solar irradiation in that area. Solar irradiation data you can get from the NASA website. You just have to put the lat long of your area and you will get the solar irradiation. That is the monthly solar irradiation data you can get. So basically we have two major sources for the solar irradiation data. First one is NASA and the solar meteornom website and the NASA. From NASA you can get the free of cost data, but the accuracy of data is not so good, and the data available on the NASA website is older data. It will be available till 2012 or 2013 only. But on Meteornom website, you can get the accurate and latest updated data related to solar irradiation, like the ambient temperature of that area, the minimum and maximum irradiation of that area. Other resources like water, electricity, and transport. You can check with the water availability. You can check with the water availability, electricity availability, and the transport availability for the smooth operation of the project. Power evacuation infrastructure, you have to check the existing electrical infrastructure over there, whether it is a single phase system, three phase system, or any high tension system. You have to check, because for inverter, smooth inverter working, like grid connectivity, net metering, anti-islanding, for those purposes you have to check for the power evacuation infrastructure. Hello everyone, can you hear me? Voice is okay? Please reply in the chat box if the voice is okay, so that I can proceed with the next slide. Okay, I'm considering that. Okay, thank you very much. So the power generation scheme, like system description and the system components, you have to mention the type of the system, like what is the type of the system. It's a off-grid system, on-grid system, and the you can add the block diagram of the system, is how the power is flowing from the solar module to the load. Each and everything you can add the description of ACDB, DCDB, and the components of ACDB, DCDB, and the connection of the complete solar system, like the circuit diagram you can add. And the system components, you can add the system components like solar module, the technical description of solar module and why you chose that solar module only, and the factors that you use to decide the solar modules used, like from 250 watt peak to 300 watt peak and 320 325 watt peak. And inverter is there. Again, the inverter selection criteria, inverter data sheet. Okay, fine, I'll go a little slow. Again, the inverter data sheet, inverter selection criteria, and the technical details of the inverter you have to add, like the DC capacity of the inverter and AC capacity of the inverter, the string voltage, the maximum generated output, the type of the inverter, like string inverter, center inverter, micro inverter, you have to add. Then the next one is technology. Again, what I said, the PV module, inverter, balance of system, all those things you have to mention, and their technical details and the selection criteria. Then the plant performance, like design, simulation, generation, estimation, system performance. Plant performance you can measure by using simulation softwares. So there are multiple simulation softwares available in solar industry, like PVSys, one of the famous simulation software used for calculation of the performance ratio CUF and the losses, which can be seen in solar plant. And the one is PVSys. Then for making a plant layout, shadow analysis, you can go with the Google SketchUp software where you can make your own solar plant layout. You can select your solar site from the Google map and you can build your 3D site using Google SketchUp tools. And then you can place your solar modules and you can do the shadow analysis to get the shadow losses. And PVSol software is there where you can do the same thing. You can add your solar modules, solar inverters of your choice. If the inverter and module is not listed in the data sheet, in the database of the software, you can add your own solar module and inverter, and accordingly you can do the simulation. Let's say you want to calculate the yearly or daily generation of your 50 kilowatt solar power plant. Then you can, BOS is nothing but balance of system. Balance of system, except solar module, whatever component is required for the electricity flow, generation and flow from the solar module to the load is called BOS, like inverter, ACDB, DCDB, cables, MCB, MCCB, SPDs. All these things comes under balance of system, except solar module. So by using these simulation softwares like PVSys, Google SketchUp is mainly used for the shadow analysis and plant layout making. But for performance analysis and kilowatt hour generation and the loss calculation, you can use PVSys and PVSol software, simulation software. Policy and regulatory is there if you're getting any incentives or any subsidies that you have to mention. Then the project financials, the financial offers means the total cost of the project you have to mention, and mainly the payback year of your solar power plant. The total, what is the total cost of your system? You have to give the breakup, that is what is the cost of solar modules, the cost of inverters, the cost of your switch gears, means the cost of your cables, everything you have to mention in that. And at the end, you have to mention the payback year, in how much it will take to get your investment paid. In a next year, you have to add the SLD, that is single line diagram. It is nothing but a circuit diagram of your solar PV plant. You have to add the SLD single line diagram. Then you have to add the PVSys simulation report, whatever software you are using, like PVSys, PVSol, whatever software. Helioscope is also there. So the simulation results of those software you have to add in your DPR. Component specification and certification. In this, you can add the solar module data sheet, solar inverter data sheet, any switch gear is there. You can add the data sheet of those switch gear also. And the certification. Certification means the certification related to solar modules and inverters you can add. Hello everyone, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. So now I will open the sample DPR of one of our project, and the size of that system is 50 kilowatt. We will go through that DPR and we will see how DPR look like and what are the contents of DPR, means what you should add into the DPR. Give me just 1 minute, I will upload that PDF. So if you have any doubt, any query related to DPR, you can note down your query. We will keep one live session. In that session, you can ask your doubts. So I'm going to share that PDF so that you can see. Everyone, please reply. Can you see this PDF copy? Detailed project report, 50 kilowatt on-grid rooftop solar PV project. Hello everyone, can you see this DPR 50 kilowatt peak on-grid rooftop solar PV project installed by Keyboard Solutions Private Limited at Ambajogai, Maharashtra? Shall I proceed with this DPR? Okay, you can see this DPR, right? Thank you. So on the very first page, you can keep your company logo, company name, and you can give some basic information related to the project. Like as we can see here, it is 50 kilowatt peak grid connected solar PV system. Grid connected, on grid, both are same. And you can keep some photos as we submit our DPR at the end of the project. Means after the commissioning of the project, you can add some good photos of your project on the very first page, and you can write something from about the project. So after that, you have to add the index, what is which will show what is the content, index with page number. So it will show what is the content of the DPR. So we will not waste our time with this index, because already we are going to see what is the content of this DPR. So we will start with the company background. So you have to keep your company background, what you have done earlier in past years, and you can mention your some good projects here that you have already done with mission and vision. Okay, we will be sharing that this DPR for your reference. So just keep in mind, first you have to keep your basic project details, like with your company logo and the name of the project. Then you can keep some company profile with vision and mission. Then you have to keep the project overview. In project overview, you have to mention the location. Like in our case, it is the nearest road is Ambajogai Highway, and the nearest major city is Latur, which is 50 kilometer from this place. The nearest major railway station is Latur railway station, and the nearest airport is Nagpur airport. Okay, we will mail the PPT and report for your record. Again, you can put your project highlights. Like in our case, the project site name is Ambajogai. Project site address is MBSCOE Ambajogai, and the one of the important parameter that you need to mention is lat long, which will indicate the exact location of your project. Here in our case, the latitude is 18.72 and the longitude is 76.37. Total available area is 520 meters square, and total used area is 500 meters square. Out of 520, we are utilizing 500 meters square area. The average irradiation in plane of array. Plane of array means the solar modules kept at particular angle. Generally, it is equal to the latitude angle. So your peak sunshine hour is 5.68 kWh per meter square per day. This figure you can get from the NASA website or Meteornom website. This 5.62, this average irradiation in plane of array, this figure you can get from the NASA website or the Meteornom website. Proposed DC plant capacity 50 kilowatt. Proposed plant AC output 39 kilowatt. Grid connectivity is HT feeding at 11 kV present at site. Again, the estimated energy generation for the first year is 78,311 kWh per year. So this is nothing, and the plant performance ratio is 78%, and the performance ratio in 25 years will be 69.8, means around 70%. And the module used is Renesas 250 watt peak. Total 200 numbers of modules are used. So 250 watt peak into 200 is nothing but 50 kilowatt system. So here we are going to use Fronius inverter, 25 kVA Fronius inverter, and we are using total two inverters, 25 into 2, that is 50 kilowatt. So this was the project highlight, some location information, and the peak sunshine hour information, some performance ratio information, and the module used. So this performance ratio you will get from the PVSYST software, PVSYST simulation software. So to get this 78% figure, you have to use PVSYST software, which is industry standard software, very popular software for solar system simulation. Again, you have to add your area, the available area. So this available area you will get, from the site assessment and site survey. So to get the area details, you have to go for the site survey, physical site survey. You will go there and you will calculate the total available area. Then by using Google SketchUp software, you can do the shadow analysis. And after shadow analysis, you will get the total utilizable area. So here, when we calculated total area, the total area was around 520 square meters. And after doing shadow analysis and after placing the solar modules on the rooftop, we found that the total area requirement is 500 meters. So I forgot to say, this is grid connected solar PV system, and the type of system is rooftop. This is rooftop solar PV system, not ground mount. Again, after adding the area related information, you will add the solar potential at site. Solar potential at site means you will add the solar irradiation that you will get at the site, because that is very important, because the solar irradiation is going to decide the generation of your solar PV plant. So the solar radiation may be different for different areas. So as I mentioned, two sources are there, NASA and the Meteonom. So you just have to put the lat long on the website and you will get the variety of parameters related to solar irradiation. So as you can see here, we have solar related data, solar irradiation related data for the Ambajogai location. Can you see this? For each month, the irradiation is given. As you can see here, for January, the global horizontal irradiation is 4.70 and the global plane of array is 5.74. Can you see this? Can you see? Fine. As you can see here, for January, global horizontal irradiation is nothing but the total amount of irradiation that you are getting on the horizontal surface. If you will keep your solar module parallel with the earth surface, the total amount of irradiation that you will get is 4.70. And plane of array means the solar module kept at particular angle, which is generally your latitude angle. Let's say here the latitude angle is 18 degrees. So you will keep your solar module at 18 degrees. So that is called plane of array. So it will increase the reception of your solar irradiation. That is why if you will see the difference between global horizontal GHI and POA, you will find the POA has greater reception because the sun rays are perpendicular with the solar module. That's why we keep some angle of solar module placement. Again, the climate at site. So this is nothing but your climatic details. Again, this data can be retrieved from your NASA website and Meteonom website. So GHI is nothing but global horizontal irradiation. As I told you, GHI is nothing but the total irradiation that you can get on the solar panel kept parallel to the earth surface. And this is nothing but the sum of POA and DNI. POA is nothing but plane of array. DNI is nothing but direct normal irradiation. So we'll see what is this parameter. GHI is nothing but global horizontal irradiation. POA, plane of array, the irradiation that you're getting on the solar modules kept at particular angle. DHI is nothing but diffused horizontal irradiation. Diffused horizontal irradiation means the irradiation that is coming on the surface which is kept parallel to the earth surface, but not direct. It is not a direct reception. It's like a sun rays that is coming after the scattering because of any obstacle, because of any like cloud, anything, it can be anything. Because of any obstacle, if it is coming to the surface kept parallel, that is called diffused horizontal irradiation. Direct normal irradiation. Direct normal irradiation is nothing but the surface which is kept perpendicular with the sun rays, which is always kept perpendicular with the sun rays. It is called direct normal irradiation. PA is nothing but your ambient temperature. So ambient temperature in each month will be varied. as you can see, in summer it will go high, and it will in winter it will decrease. And wind speed is also given. Meteonom is nothing but a software. You have to download the software of Meteonom, and you have to get the subscription of Meteonom software, and from there you can get the data. So this data can next is, so as you can see, the performance ratio and the simulation of your daily energy generation, monthly energy generation, yearly energy generation can be calculated on PVSys software. So next session will be on PVSys software. There we will teach how to use PVSys software and how to design your system using PVSys software, and how to get the loss report, generation report, and the financial evaluation using PVSys software. So this is nothing but the graph representation of your irradiation, and this is nothing but this third graph. This is nothing but the hourly ambient temperature variation is site. This is the maximum temperature, and this is the minimum temperature at your site. All these details you have to add related to climatic detail. Now the choice of PV models. As we know, there are total 3 PV technologies. There are total 3 PV technologies. Crystalline PV technology, like in crystalline we have 2, monocrystalline and polycrystalline, and the third one is thin film technology. So you have to mention which technology you are using, which the difference between performance ratio and capacity utilization factor we will be explaining in the next session, which will be live session. There we will properly explain what is the performance ratio and CUF. Here we will give a overview of your detailed project report and what should be the content of project report, detailed project report. Later we will explain one by one. Each and everything we will cover one by one. So here, out of crystalline technology and the thin film technology, you have to mention which technology you are going with and why. So if you will see the crystalline technology, here again 2 technologies are there: monocrystal and polycrystal. Monocrystal and polycrystal. So the one of the best technology that you can use for the solar plant installation is monocrystalline, because it has higher efficiency. After that, polycrystal solar modules are there, that is multi-crystal solar module, which is having a good efficiency but less than the monocrystalline. Again, then third one is thin film. It's having a very low efficiency but having some sort of benefits which is different than the crystalline, like low temperature effect and flexible in nature and the low cost. So here some comparison is given between crystalline technology and thin film technology, so that the client will get the clear idea of the solar modules used, and the client will understand why you have used this solar module. So the comparison parameters are efficiency, temperature degradation factor, then reliability, LID losses, area requirement, EOS cost, installation cost, transportation cost, and module cost. So normally we always say the best solar module is monocrystalline solar module, but the cost of monocrystalline solar module is higher than the polycrystalline. So polycrystalline is the widely used solar module because of its low cost and good efficiency, better efficiency. Then in our project we have used Renesys module, 250 watt peak Renesys module. So here we have mentioned the parameter of the specification of the Renesys module, like the make, which is Renesys, number of it is 60 cell solar module, peak power is 250 watt peak, and the efficiency of the solar module is 15.4%. Hello everyone, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see this data sheet? You can see this data sheet, the specification of solar module, right? Okay. So in our project, we have used Renesys solar module, which is 60 cell solar module. Nowadays in market, 72 cell solar modules are also available. And nowadays the EPCs are using solar module, which is having a power rating of 320, 350 watt peak. Here we have used 250 watt peak solar module and the efficiency is 15.4. Nowadays, if you will check the efficiency has reached around 18 to 18.5 and 20, 18 to 19%. The maximum current is 8.22 ampere and the voltage at maximum power point is 30.43 volts. And some temperature coefficients are given. As we all know, as temperature increases, module generation will reduce. So by what percent it will reduce, everything is mentioned in this specification sheet. So this panel is IP65 panel. The dimension details are given. The dimension is 1640 mm by 990 mm and the thickness is 40 mm. And the weight of the module is 80 kg. So all these details you will get from the datasheet of the solar modules. What you have to do, you just have to visit to the website of that particular company. Let's say if you're using Waaree solar modules, you have to visit to Waaree website. There you can download the datasheet and you can add the details. Again, some certifications related to solar module you can add. So for those for those participants, this report is not visible. Maybe you do not have proper internet connection. That is why this report is not visible. Okay, we will share this report so that you can learn. You can see the report. Again, the certification related to solar module you can add, so that certification proves that the solar module is reliable and durable. And it has if certification is done, it means the module has good efficiency, means the efficiency and the parameter whatever it is mentioned are, you can trust on that parameters. After solar module, you have to add the inverter that you have selected. So there are basically three types of inverter in market, that is micro inverter, string inverter and center inverter. String inverter is most widely used inverter in solar industry because of its flexibility and the variety of capacity available. So basically micro inverters are like the small inverter which is placed on the solar module only. So if you are purchasing 300 watt peak micro inverter, so you can place that inverter on the back of the solar module only. So here you will get the better efficiency, reduced losses, but the cost of the micro inverter is higher than the string inverter and center inverter. So basically string inverter and center inverter both are same. You just first understand what is micro inverter. Micro inverter is nothing but a small inverter which is placed on the back of the solar module. String inverter and center inverter both are same, only the capacity is different. String inverter is available from 1 kilowatt to 80 to 100 kilowatt, and center inverters are available in the range of 100 kilowatt to 1 megawatt. So let's say you have 4 rooftop. Let's say in single project you have 4 rooftops, and for each rooftop the installation capacity is different. Let's say 30 kilowatt, 40 kilowatt and 50 kilowatt. Then you can have 3 different string inverters like 30 kilowatt inverter, 40 kilowatt inverter and 50 kilowatt inverter, and you can use all the inverters separately. But let's say you have solar park where you are going to install 500 kilowatt solar power plant. Then you can use single 500 kilowatt center inverter, which will reduce the losses and it will make your solar power plant simpler, solar system designing simpler. So both are having their own advantages based on the site. So inverter data sheet has been mentioned over here. You have to mention the inverter data sheet, and you have to mention the selection criteria on what based on what criteria you have selected that inverter. Again, here the technical specification of inverter is given. As we all know, the plant capacity is 50 kilowatt. We have used 200 modules of 250 kilowatt, 250 into 250 kilowatt. And inverter, we have used inverter of 25 kilowatt, and the number of inverter is 2. 25 into 2, 50 kilowatt. So single 25 kilowatt inverter data sheet is mentioned over here. Hello everyone, can you hear me? Am I audible to you? Can you see this data sheet? Okay, thank you. So 25 kilowatt inverter data sheet is mentioned over here. The DC capacity is 25 kilowatt, maximum system voltage is 1000 volt. The MPPT input voltage range is 580 to 850 kilowatt. So this is nothing. This is very interesting. All these things are very interesting things related to inverter because this plays a vital role while designing your system. So again, this can be done using PVSys software. So before using PVSys software, you have to do some hand calculation, how to calculate the string voltage, how to calculate the number of modules connected in one string, and how to calculate the total number of strings connected to inverter. So this comes under designing part. So first you have to do the designing and then you will add all these details to your DPR. So here the input voltage of inverter is 580 volts to 850 volts. So in next session we will show and we will teach how to select proper voltage, means whether 580 or 850 or somewhere in between 580 to 850, and how it plays a vital role while designing your system. That is quite interesting steps which you can add to your system designing. Again, the rated active power is 25 kilowatt and the number of MPPT, it has single MPPT per inverter, and the efficiency of the inverter is around 98.2 to 98.2%, and it is a three-phase inverter. As you can see here, three-phase inverter with neutral and potential arc, and the output voltage of the inverter is 400 volt, but it can fluctuate from 380 to 400. And the MPPT charge controller efficiency is 99.9%. So in next session, we will teach how to do your system designing using PVSys and how to choose the inverter strings and how to form your complete configuration, means how to connect 200 modules to your available inverters by using series and parallel combination. Again, the code and standards are given for the inverter, and the warranty details are also given for the inverter. It can vary based on the manufacturer and your make of the inverter. Again, the choice of PV support structure. So our system is rooftop, our solar PV plant is rooftop solar PV plant, and we have used hot dip galvanized iron PV structure over here, and we have used stack, and we have used stake type structure, means we have kept module over the module. As you can see here, total 3 modules are kept on stack basis. So here, as you can see, the stack component is 3. So again, in next session, we will teach how to do the structure design, how to select how many stake you have to add, single stakes, 2 stake, 3 stake, and the foundation formation details. So you just keep in mind, we have used hot dip galvanized iron type structure. Again, why we do hot dip galvanizing? To protect our structure from rusting and corrosion. So the thickness of the your galvanizing should be 80 to 100 microns based on your site location. So design simulation. So these are the this is nothing but a general calculation of 100 kilowatt solar power plant. This is nothing but a standard general calculation of 100 kilowatt. Means if you will install 100 kilowatt power plant, generally what will happen with that power plant, means what will be the output of that solar power plant. So as you can see here, typical power plant capacity is 100 kilowatt, and the AC output of that power plant will be 78 kilowatt. Sorry, 78, and AC cabling 7 after. Okay, fine. We have to start from the bottom. The plant DC capacity is 100 kilowatt. After module optical quality losses, you will get 94.4 kilowatt. Then module mismatch losses, module temperature losses, module soiling losses, DC cabling losses, MPPT inverter losses, transformer and auxiliary losses, like frequent light cut, power outage, all these things will be considered in auxiliary. AC cabling losses. After all these things, you will get 78 kilowatt peak output. So all these things will come under designing steps. We will teach in next session. We will teach how to calculate all these losses and how to consider these losses and what is the percent of these losses, generally a standard percentage of the losses that you need to consider while designing your system. So this is nothing but one sample 100 kilowatts for solar PV plant representation. After that, PVSys report has been attached over here. So in this, on the first page of PVSys report, you will get the basic details related to your site, like your site name, latitude, longitude of that site, average temperature of ambient temperature of that site, minimum and maximum temperature of that site, and some solar module related details like the total available area and the area to be utilized after shadow analysis. All these things are mentioned over here. Again, after the basic details like the area details, climatic details, you will get the solar module details, which solar module you have used, and the parameter of that solar module. PVSys is a very good software where you will get the specification of solar module also. Each and everything will be mentioned. You need not to worry about that. So it will save your time if you are going to design a system. It will save your time with accurate results. So this is nothing but the plant layout of your solar PV plant. You can put this image to show how your plant will look like after installation. So this is nothing but your array layout. All the solar modules are placed and total area required. So see, as you can see here, all the solar modules are facing towards south. As we all know, in India, in northern hemisphere countries, you have to face all the solar module towards south. This yellow part is nothing but your sun path, that is horizon, how your sun will move over the entire year. Again, on the second page, you will get, on the first page and second page, you will get module related details, inverter related details, climatic details, site details, then array layout, sun path. Then again, on the third page, you will have the generation related details. How much your 50 kilowatt power plant will generate over the year. So this is the very good data that you can show your client and you can promise to your client without failing. So as you can, I don't think so you can see this details because it is somewhat blurred, but I will tell you what all details given over here. So after doing the simulation of 50 kilowatt peak solar PV, can you see this? Can you see the graph and the figures written over here? Hello everyone, can you hear me? Okay, fine. So as you can see here, 50 kilowatt peak solar power plant will generate 78,310 units per year and the performance ratio will be 74.7%. So this performance ratio is nothing but your very important figure that you will get from PVSys report. Again, all the details are given over here. Total like GHI, DNI, DHI, what total amount of sunlight received, amount of sunlight converted into electricity, amount of electricity lost. All these details will be mentioned over here based on the location. All these calculation will be done by PVSys only. So this is very good data that you can put in your DPR. Specific production. See, the produced energy is nothing but the energy produced by your solar power plant, that is 50 kilowatt power plant in a year. Specific production means the generation of 1 kilowatt peak per year. Specific production is nothing but
generation of 1 kilowatt peak power plant per year, and produce energy is nothing but generation of 50 kilowatt peak power plant per year. Okay, fine. Then next, this is nothing but your loss diagram. This is nothing but your loss diagram. In this loss diagram, each and everything will be mentioned, like near shading losses, irradiation losses, IAM losses, soiling loss, PV conversion loss, MPPT loss, temperature loss, LID loss, ohmic wiring loss, inverter loss, auxiliary loss, and system unavailability. System unavailability means the power outage, and if any maintenance work is going on, that is also considered while designing your system. So all these facilities are given in PV-System software. So using PV-System software, you can design 4 type of system: off-grid system, on-grid system, DC grid, and DC pumping system. All these 4 systems you can design by using PV-System software. And after designing your system, you will get all this information at the end of your designing as a PV-System report in PV-System report. So again, all the possibilities are given. So while mentioning the generation, you can mention P95 value and P90 value also. So your P95 value will be more accurate and P90 value will be accurate but less than P95 value. So it depends on you which value you want to mention. And P50 value will be even less than the okay, fine. So the total generation is given over here in megawatt hour. So this is nothing but the probability distribution. You can add what will be the generation of your solar power plant based on the probability. So total 3 probability you can add: P50, P90, and P95. Again, PV plant design approach. Here you can add block. Hello everyone, can you see this block diagram of your solar PV plant, 50 kilowatt solar PV plant? Can you hear me? Okay, fine, thank you. So this is nothing but your PV plant block diagram. This energy will be generated from PV. It will be given to DCDB for protection purpose. Then from DCDB to inverter. Inverter will convert DC into AC. Then it will be given to ACDB. If multiple inverters are there, if let's say if more than one inverter is there, then in ACDB you can combine the output of all those inverters. In ACDB, net meter will be there and the bus bars will be there. So again, it will go to HT panel and LT panel. So this is nothing but the block diagram of your solar PV plant. How your solar PV plant will work and how the components are connected to each other. And you can put some few information related to this block diagram, how all the components will work with each other. Again, this is this single line diagram. So single line, if you will use PVSol software, in that software you will get the single line diagram at the end of the designing. Again, you can make this SLD using AutoCAD, and PPT also you can use for making your single line diagram. So this is nothing but the representation of single line diagram. As you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 222 means in our project we have total 20 strings. We have total 9 string, and in each string 22 modules are connected. Again, this 22 figure, 9 figure, how we landed with 22 modules in one string, total number of strings are 9. All these things are based on your system designing. So for first 25 kilowatt inverter, we will have total 5 string, and for second 25 kilowatt inverter, we will have total 4 strings. And in each string 22 modules are there. Again, as you can see here, the output of both the inverter is combined in ACDB with some protection. So in ACDB you can use MCB, MCCB, RCCB, bus bar, net meter, and you can use some monitoring devices also in ACDB. So this is nothing but the representation of single line diagram of ACDB, how inverter is connected to ACDB, so that anyone could understand how the things are connected to each other. Again, the string calculation, as I told you, I'm not going to explain how the string calculation is done over here because it's a very long process which we will explain in system designing in next session. But for your general information, we have total 200 number of modules. For inverter 1, we have 5 string, each string with 22 modules. And for inverter 2, we have 4 string, each string with 22 modules. So total 9 strings are there. So you have to mention how you have calculated the string voltage. So just keep in mind, for calculating your string voltage, you need to consider the minimum and maximum temperature of that area. It will play a very vital role while deciding your string voltage, because the temperature, the solar module voltage has a negative temperature coefficient. So you need to consider the temperature. Again, the power metering arrangement is given over here. As you can see here, from PV array to controller, controller to inverter, inverter to PV meter. Then it is going to distribution panel. And from distribution panel is nothing but your ACDP to load meter and load. And in the same ACDP, grid connection is coming through net meter. So again, this is the part of designing. We will explain in next session how this designing is done, how to do the wiring of ACDP. In ACDP, we have combined both the inverters. Again, the earthing system, you have to mention how many earth pit you have and which earthing system you have used, like conventional earthing, chemical earthing, you have to mention. And this is the representation of your earthing system. What is the how much is the depth of your earthing system, and what is the dimension of your earthing system, the length and width of your earth pit. Everything related to earth pit, length, width, and depth. So each and everything is mentioned over here, like earthing rod. We have total 3 earthing over here, 2 for DC side and 1 for AC side. So as we all know, we have separate earthing for DC side and AC side. So we have used GI earth strip, that is galvanized iron earth strip. You can use copper earth strip also. Again, it depends on the type of system and the designing strategy. We have 75 mm diameter of GI earthing rod, and the earthing rod dimension is 25 into 6 mm. Means the earth strip dimension is 25 into 6 mm. Again, the filling material is earthing chemical filling compound, means we have used chemical earthing over here. Again, the capacity utilization factor calculation formula is given over here. How to calculate the capacity utilization factor and plant performance ratio. But again, you can calculate this by using your own formula. Theoretically, you can calculate, or the better way is to calculate these things using simulation softwares like PVSys. Again, for our plant, for first year, the energy generation will be 78,311 kilowatt hour, and the CUF will be 17.8, and performance ratio will be 74.7. And for the average 25 years, the generation will be, if you calculate in megawatt hour, it will be somewhere 17.6197 megawatt hour, and the capacity utilization factor will reduce, and the performance ratio will also reduce, because module, if you will see the data sheet of solar module, we have degradation factor in module. Per year, 1% loss will be there in your solar power plant. As a thumb rule, per year, 1% loss will be there in your solar power plant. That is why the performance ratio is getting reduced. So this is the implementation schedule. This is nothing but the timeline of your project. So here you can put the, yes, you need to add switchgear, you need to add MCB, MCCBs and RCCBs in your ACDB. That is very much required for the safety purpose. And for maintenance purpose also, we have to add MCBs. If you need to disconnect your inverter from grid for the maintenance, you need to trip turn off your you need to trip your MCB so that you can work with your inverter for safety purpose. So this is nothing but your timeline of the project. You will put the dates. You can put the timeline date wise, week wise, or monthly, whatever you are comfortable in. So it is good to put your timeline in weekly format. How you have implemented your project means in first week you have done the designing, in second week you have done the procurement of the models, in third week you have done the erection work like the structure work, foundation work, module placement work, and then in fourth week the connections of all the components and the commissioning. Like that timeline you have to make. Then the operation and maintenance, you have to keep some basic details of operation and maintenance so that the customer can also understand how to operate and maintain their solar power plant, like the cleaning of the solar power plant. You have to clean your solar modules once in a week, once in a month, and you have to add some graphs of the power generation versus maintenance. Means if you will clean your modules per week, what will be the generation, what will be the change in generation, and if you are going to clean your modules monthly basis, what will be the change in your generation. Again, some checklist is given over here like maintenance schedule. Check the amount of units generated. As we all know, inverters have online monitoring system. Means you can have the application of that particular inverter, and the inverter will be connected to Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, whatever communication medium is given over there. Then what you can do, you can monitor your solar module using your smartphone. Means what is the generation of that solar plant on daily basis and monthly basis. So all this checklist is given over here. Inspect the PV modules for cracks, damage. Inspect the PV module for discoloration and cloudiness. Inspect the entire system for loose or damaged wiring. All this operation and maintenance will be done by EPC companies only, because customer is not that good at the operation and maintenance. So all these things you have to mention for how many years you will take the responsibility of operation and maintenance, and what things you will do in operation and maintenance. All you have to mention in operation and maintenance schedule. Again here, the data sheet of all the modules are given here. In module data sheet, dimension details, hole mounting details, annual losses, the degradation in 25 years, IV characteristics, everything will be mentioned in the solar PV module data sheet. Again, inverter data sheet is mentioned over here. So this is nothing but this was all related to DPR content. So we will summarize the DPR content, what you have to add in DPR content. So basically the main content of DPR is the financial content and the technical content and the site related content. First you have to add the site details, climatic detail, solar irradiation detail based on the site and their existing electrical infrastructure and the area availability. Before shadow analysis, after shadow analysis. Then you have to mention some technical details like solar module detail, solar module selection criteria, solar module specification. Then inverter details, inverter selection criteria, inverter specification, and technical details related to inverter. Then the designing details, how you have designed your system, number of inverters used, number of solar module used, number of strings used, number of module in one string, cabling, what is the DC cable sizing, what is the AC cable sizing, the length of the cable, the cross section area of the cable, everything you need to mention. After that, based on all these details, you have to generate a PVSys report. In that PVSys report, again, you will have the same details, but some advanced details will be there, like generation details, what will be the generation of this solar plant on monthly basis, daily basis, and yearly basis. Based on that, what is the performance ratio of that solar power plant and what is the annual generation of that solar plant, so that you can promise your client. Again, next one is design strategy. Then the loss detail, what losses that are going to occur in your solar power plant and how it will affect your power generation. After loss calculation, you have to add the DCDB details, ACDB details, and then the SLD. SLD is nothing but the circuit diagram of your whole power plant. You have to add this how the components are connected to each other. In single line diagram, you can mention. After that, you have to add the timeline of your project, how you have executed your project in past, in number of weeks, number of months, number of days. You have to mention each and everything from the designing and engineering to procurement, procurement to your solar structure mounting, solar structure, solar foundation erection, then connection of all the components, then cable laying, cable connection, DCDB, ACDB connection to commissioning. All these details you have to mention in your timeline. It is nothing but the track of your project, keeping track of your project. After that you have to mention you have to add the data sheet of each and every components used in that solar power plant, the mainly solar module and inverter data sheet. So thank you very much. In next session we will do the financial evaluation of this project, and if you're interested in PVSys software, we will be informing you about the PVSys session. There in PVSys session, we will teach how to design your system using PVSys and how to generate report using PVSys. In that report, we will see all these details. That is very good software for making your DPR and designing your solar PV system. Thank you very much for attending this session, and I hope you have enjoyed this session. And if you have any query or any doubt related to DPR, you can note down your doubt, and in live session we will solve that doubts. So for your kind information, next session will be based on system designing and PVSys software. How to design your system using PVSys and how to generate your report. So you will be informed about those sessions on our Keyword Solutions Facebook page.
Thanks for watching this video, and if you feel that this video could help your friends, then do share this video with your friends and subscribe to our YouTube channel to get the updates on latest videos.
Thank you very much. Best of luck.